There's a big man hiding in Korea's salted fish market. All day long he sells nothing but 8 kilograms of lobster. He rarely interacts with outsiders. No one used to dare to mess with him. Now he's retired to the mountains for his wife. He's gone into the seafood business. Now he has lost his youthful temperament. He runs his small business honestly. Even when his car was rear-ended by someone for no reason, he didn't give them a hard time. Instead, he negotiated calmly with the insurance. To his surprise, the wealthy driver threw money at him with disdain. He couldn't even pay his mortgage, so he had to bend down and pick it up. But then his wife came along. She argued with the driver in a justifiable manner. The angry wife was about to call the police. The big boss in the back seat couldn't sit still. He was hiding an unconscious schoolgirl in his car. The boss got out of the car and pulled open the driver's door. He kicked the driver into the center console. He pulled the driver out by the hair and gave him a facial massage. Jack and his wife were baffled. The boss told the driver to confess to Jack. Jack let them go when he saw how authoritative the man was. After they had left, the big boss's eyes began to turn cold. He looked like he was planning something. The next day Jack went to work as usual. His wife asked him when he was coming home from work and lay in bed. Jack said he'd be home in half an hour. Soon the doorbell rang. "Honey?" She leaned over the cat's eye of the security door and looked out. Suddenly a man in black appeared. Then the door lock kept jiggling. The wife was so scared that she stepped back. Soon the lock was unlocked. The man in black rushed in. The wife rushed into the bedroom. She was about to call Jack for help. Another man in black smashes the glass. The man who broke and knocked his wife unconscious. And the man behind the crime is the big boss. This man had a bad habit. He likes to kidnap people's wives. As Jack was driving home, he was blocked by a truck hauling goods. The boss had sent his men to block the road in order to kidnap Anna. When Jack returned home, he saw that the house was in shambles. His wife was nowhere to be seen. Jack feels badly about this. He rushed downstairs to look for her. He couldn't get through on the phone. He had to go to the police station to get help from the police. But the surveillance cameras downstairs had been tampered with during the time Anna was missing. The police said they'd do their best to investigate. Then they didn't do anything. The police told Jack to go home and wait for news. He turned to the police and played Kingsman. He looks at the woman who disappeared years ago, and he still hadn't found her. Jack knew he couldn't hold out hope for them. He was going to investigate this himself. Jack had just left the door when he got a call from the big boss. The big boss told Jack he better not go to the police again, otherwise he'll make Anna and his 800-odd men play a game of poker. Jack has to give in for now, and they agreed to meet at the restaurant to talk about it. Jack arrived at the restaurant as promised. He waited at his assigned seat for over 40 minutes. That's when the phone rang. As instructed by the big boss, Jack opened a suitcase on the side. It contained a large amount of money. Jack looked confused. The boss told him, "This money is the money for your wife's body. With or without your consent, it's a done deal." Jack suddenly saw a man on the phone getting into his car. He and his friend immediately went to intercept him. He and his friend went to stop him, but he was mistaken. Jack couldn't take his anger. He took the money to the police station. Jack told the police about the incident. To his surprise, the police said they needed a box of notes to investigate a lead. They seized it as evidence. They continued to tell Jack to go home and wait for news. They told Jack to go home and wait for news, saying that his wife might come back one day on her own. He came home and looked at his wife's picture. Jack decided he couldn't just sit there and wait. A friend gave him an idea. He uses the power of money to find Mr. Park, a man who knows both the black and white worlds. He had heard that this man had eyes and ears to see and hear. If he's looking for someone, he can find them anywhere. The only downside was that it was a bit expensive. Jack had no money and had to go to the dealers who owed him money. As you can imagine, these days everyone who owes money is a master. They are very arrogant because they have a lot of people. He said he had to pay back the money he had borrowed. He even told his men to send Jack away. Jack had to put up with them. He didn't expect them to take it any further. Jack couldn't take it anymore. Jack pressed his men and crashed through 8 meters of iron. This gave the men a fright. At that moment 2 more men came up. Jack's strength was so great that he smashed the computer to pieces. Jack easily kills them. The little bald guy gets up and whispers to the boss to get the money. Jimmy saw that something was wrong. He immediately changed his face and returned the money. Jack took the money and found Park with his friends. It's true that money is good for business. Soon Park found a license plate number through his contacts. They went to the black market to investigate the owner of the car who bought it. The lady owner saw that they were looking for someone. She immediately called in over 200 of her men. Jack was ready to show them what they were made of but was stopped by Park. Park said, "Just stand behind me for this little scene." As a result, Park was beaten up by his men. Jack couldn't take it anymore. He rushed up to his men and pulled them away. His fists were no longer silent. Jack went straight into the realm of the gods. He knocks one of his men down with one punch. Jack knocks his men out of the way. Press the like button if you think it's good. Jack shatters 8 meters of glass with a brutal punch. The lady boss is blinded and turns to run. She was blocked by Tom's splits. She had to produce the bill and give the buyers information. Jack took the information he got. He found one of the big boss's boys. However, he didn't know what Jack was capable of. He was playing dumb the whole time. Jack pushed the table and broke 8 of his men's ribs. On the other side, the big boss knew that his little brother had been caught. He called Jack on video. He drags Anna into the pool. He threatened Jack to kill the man next to him, otherwise he would drown Anna. Watching his wife wail in pain, Jack had no choice but to do as he was told. The big boss's men went to the northwest, but the big boss demanded that he bring the money for his wife. With that, the big boss hung up the phone. Jack woke up the boss's men with a slap. It turned out that he was playing dead. When he woke up, he told him everything about Big Boss. It turns out that the boss is a pervert. He used to kidnap people's wives. He was a human trafficker. Those who were good-looking were sold directly. Those who were safe to look at would be sold after plastic surgery. The most important thing now was to get the money. The police had ceased to ransom his wife Anna. Park had a good idea. He pretended to be a policeman and infiltrated the police station. Perhaps Park had made a big deal out of it. The policeman was immediately respectful. The two of them made their way to the government office without a hitch. They were ready to take the money and leave, but they were spotted by the policeman. Jack saw that the plan had failed. He set fire to a police car to attract the attention of the police. The two men take the opportunity to leave. Jack drives off to rescue Anna. He crashes through the gate and into the boss's lair. At this point, he's in killing mode. His men feel the building shake. He locks the door quietly. He hides behind the door and prepares to attack, but he's punched 8 meters away by Jack. It looks like he's done for, as his men try to make a move. He comes up with a spinning kick. This guy's got some skills. And then he does another one. He's a real authority on kicks. And then he goes for a kick. Jack catches him in the act, a punch that knocks him out. Jack continues his search for his wife, but he was met by a group of men blocking his way. Jack's fists are hungry for more. He grabs his men by the hair and pounds them out. Jack packs a punch that knocks out 3 of his men. Jack shows them what it means to be a one-punch man. Jack continues on his way. There was a beast on the horizon, nicknamed the Nightmare. He's as big and strong as a bull. He picks Jack up and throws him against the wall. Jack tried to do a hug but couldn't carry him. He grabbed Jack by the collar and threw a few more punches. Jack takes the opportunity to hold him around the waist. Jack uses his strength to drive him up to the ceiling. This is a bit of a ceiling move. Jack gets up and sends the man to God with a punch. The police arrive to clean up the mess. Jack doesn't see Anna. He's lost on the road. He runs into the big boss's car. It turns out he's taken Anna out for chili soup. Jack hit the car with his foot on the gas. The boss tells the driver to run. Jack didn't want to let them go. He gave another kick to the accelerator. The boss's head was buzzing. He regretted not wearing his seatbelt. The boss panicked. Jack gives another kick to the accelerator to stop the boss's car, but his own car overturned. The boss grabbed an axe and went down on Jack. He stood on top of the car and smashed it. Jack said that when I was playing with the hammer, you were still wearing crotch trousers. Jack grabbed him by the shirt. Jack pulls the boss in through the sunroof and punches him twice. Big Boss tried to run. The fist was so big it made the car shake. Then something flies out of the car. The camera zooms in to see that it's the Big Boss. The boss was on his knees begging for mercy. He had an 80-year-old mother and 120 wives at home. He said that the Big Boss took the opportunity to sneak up on him, but he gets his wrist broken by Jack. Jack pulls him by the collar. How dare you sneak up on him? You're a tough guy, aren't you? Now you're begging for mercy. Jack set him on the ground. His fists were like an electric motor and he couldn't stop. Jack landed over 200 punches. Jack went back to the car. He woke up his wife Anna.